So welcome. There's a topic that comes up a lot on the channel, which is regarding health insurance. So today I'm going to give you an update on what's going on the world of private health insurance in Portugal, what are some of the new offers, and walk you through some simulations so you get an idea of what you could get on your situation and what might be the most appropriate health insurance, private health insurance for you. If you need an introduction into how healthcare and private healthcare works in Portugal, check out this video above, which will give you an introduction of who are the companies, how it works, and an intro into simulations. But today we're going to focus on what's happening now that we are almost on the end of 2024, coming in 2025. What are the offers that are available and what are the most suitable for you? So let's go into it. So let's start here with a brief intro into the main companies that hold the private health insurance, but are also the ones that have the network of providers behind them. One of the first one is Infidelity through Multicare. And this is actually the company that I currently have an health insurance with. Next, you have one that's also very known in Portugal and has, I would say, a big reputation because has been around for a really long time, which is Medis. Medis is also a provider of health insurance that has the network of providers behind it. The next one we have is Allianz. It's also offering you programs and has the network behind it to support it. And then you have AdvanceCare, which is the first one I had when I moved to Portugal, but I had a horrendous experience, so I changed. If you want to hear about my experience, I'll leave there the video where I talk about it. And one thing you need to understand is, okay, you have these four main ones, so Multicare, Medis, Allianz, and AdvanceCare. They offer the plans, but they also have the network of establishments, hospitals, which they provide the services. And either than that, then there's the brokers of insurance that operate with them and help you find what is the best suited insurance for yourself. In my case, and for our family, I like to do the research myself, so I go directly to the source to see what is the best deal I can get. But for instance, for AdvanceCare, they have something interesting, which is they have different brokers that give you different packages of their services. And as you can see, they have a whole bunch of them. And one specific insurance that works with them that I'm going to call out is MGEN. I need to point out that right now, from my last research, they are the only ones that will accept pre-existing conditions. So if you have a pre-existing condition, probably your best option is to go with MGEN because themselves, they will accept you with that precondition. Now, the drawback is that they only work with a service provider, a network, which is AdvanceCare. And since my own experience wasn't good, I immediately decided not to go with them. But for pre-existing, I think it's worth it to really look into them as an option because at least they give you that peace of mind that they will not refuse you because of pre-existing conditions. But now that we have this brief intro, let's go and look at each one of them in a little bit more detail to give you some highlights so you can understand, first of all, what they offer, and second, how you can simulate for yourself. I know there is a lot of brokers that can do that for yourself, but I always seen a benefit of you understanding exactly what you're contracting. So there's no confusions and it's you yourself backed up by your research, selecting the best plan for yourself. So I'm going to start here with my favorite because it's the one that I currently hold and I like it very much. So let's start here with Multicare. So here with Multicare, they have right now three main programs. They have Multicare 1, 2, 3. I'm actually on Multicare number 2 and I'm going to show you the reason and Why? They've recently launched this one, Multicare Proteção Vital, which gives you a huge cover of around 1 million that includes children as well for oncological problems. So I've asked a simulation to see if it's worth swapping for this one. And then they have a last one, which is a little bit more tailored for folks 60 and above. But let's jump here into the details. So let's start here with a 1, 2, 3 from Multicare. You're going to notice immediately what differentiates them. And what differentiates them is exactly the amount of money you have in each section. So this one is hospitalization. So for this one, you can actually contract either a lower amount or a higher amount. And here you have 50K, 100K. So this is all going to depend on your situation. Is it only you? Is it you and a partner? Do you have children? Do you have situations that you need to go often to the doctor, or you envision in the future on the next year to do some kind of intervention? So those are some of the things to take in consideration. And as you scroll down, you see for mental health what's included. But I want to highlight another point is, okay, you have a hospitalization for unexpected or expected situations, but the day-to-day life revolves around appointments, exams, going to the doctor. So on the first plan that's a little bit more basic, you basically have access to the network and you have their discounts. And the second one, you either have 8 free appointments or 1,000 euros up to appointments. And in the last one, a little bit more. In our case, we've chosen, just to show you the thought process behind it, we've chose this one because we are more on the preemptive side. Thankfully, knock on wood, nobody has any major diseases, so we basically just use the free appointments and that's enough for us. And through scrolling, you have a whole bunch of other things, like if you need dental, if you need any replacements, hip replacements, eye, vision, etc. And then on this very last one, you have an optional element, which actually we've contracted on our health insurance. We pay a little bit more on this plan too, because we have up to 1 million for serious diseases. So these are some of the things that you need to put on the balance. Before you go price shopping, really think of what you need and what your family needs. Get those simulations from the different providers and then make your decision. So the next one, which I found very interesting that wasn't available at the time I made my insurance, is this one where they've included 1 million in oncological. And specifically, they call it out in the case of minors have any of these situations that is also covered. So this is a good one to explore as well. When you hit here, I want a simulation, you're gonna notice that you need to populate a lot of information. So this is to help the broker on the other side to give you the best simulation possible. And then you have the very last one, which is if you're above 60 and depending on your needs and current situation, what makes the most sense? I mean, is it a cap per day? Is it a full amount of how much you spend per year? So it's really tailored if you look at it depending on your needs. So you need to really go through this and figure out what makes the most sense for yourself. So this was Multicare, which I like very much and I do recommend because I've been in there and so far the experience has been really good. One of my kids had a minor surgery and I ended up paying maybe not even 300 euros. He stayed there a full day. What else with this company that I like is the Vitality. I'll leave a link here for the short I've made about this application in which basically you accrue money, I think up to 200 euros maybe for family, and you can use it on Amazon, gift cards, etc. And also if you achieve a certain objective, you might get 15% off your next year insurance. So it has an incentive. It has an incentive to keep you healthy and it's fun. It's a little bit of games. So I like that myself. So let's jump to the next one. The other biggest contendant, which I've been in Medis in the past when I was part of my parents' insurance. When I was young, I lived in Portugal, so I've experienced Medis, and all my recollections is that it was a very good insurance. So you can simulate, so I'm gonna do here for myself, so everyone's gonna know I'm 42, but that's okay. Let's simulate here what they offer. So this would be what you do. You hit here the simulation. If you have additional members, you just add the additional members and he will give you a simulation of what he thinks is the best option for yourself. And here on the very top, you get a little glimpse of how much you have on hospitalization. You can see as you go up on price, the more money you have available. So those are the things to pay attention. What makes the most sense for yourself, for your family. Let's just expand here so we can see everything. So he's suggesting me this option here. So what do they have? They have an interesting thing included, which is a second opinion. If you have a serious diagnostic, that you can have a second opinion from a doctor. And other than that, it gives you kind of the co-pays, how much you're going to be paying if you're off. You can see that option 3 is pretty comprehensive. If you have anything serious, you can even go to these international hospitals outside the network. And here is where it comes the values in terms of hospitalization. Let's scroll down here. This is how much you would pay for the appointments and all the other elements here. So this one is really basic, so you won't have access probably to these ones here. Also, one thing to note with health insurance is they have kind of, when you contract them, you have kind of a waiting period, let's say. So major hospitalizations, or let's say you're pregnant, you need to watch out to see how long is that time that kicks in the full benefits of the insurance. So something interesting here is they have an age limit, as you can see. They cap you at 70, and they also have here like you can get in at 55 and stay there. So they have some limitations when it comes to that. And here is the periods of how long you need to wait until the insurance fully kicks in. Next on the list, we have Allianz. I haven't experienced this insurance myself, but I got feedback from other expats that they were pretty happy with this health insurance. So for that, what's worth, it's something worth exploring. So we are on the website and we're gonna scroll all the way down here. And you can see immediately that they have these 4 packages. And again, you see how it goes, right? It starts with the amounts going up. So here you would have also 2,500 on consultations already included of how much you could spend on that. And as you go up, it goes up the price of the coverage you have on hospitalization. And here a little bit more detail on what's included. So on the very basic, you can use the discounts on the network, but on these, it's really included up to these amounts on consultations. And you can see here the prices that are locked with the insurance. I think right now mine is 90 euros an appointment. And heads up again on these consultations, you will notice that year by year, they go a little bit up. So they pass on inflation to you every year, but it is what it is, right? So again, this is the piece of information that you really need to sit down and see what you need as a single, as a couple, or as a family. If you need this, if you do need these discounts on glasses or not, if you need, for instance, dentist or not included. In my honest opinion, I prefer to have it outside. If we don't have anything major, why pay for something you're not gonna be using anyway? So it's just scrolling and going through this information. And if you want a more detail tailored for you, you just say, I want to simulate. And you go through filling all the amount of data and getting feedback on it. So now I left the one I didn't have the best experience with to the very last. And this comes down to the customer experience. All these companies, they offer a service, and all of them offer pretty good conditions across of them, but it comes down to how you're supported once you have an issue and you call their support, how long you wait, how fast they are answering. And so far my experience with AdvanceCare has been they failed many times on those situations. But again, this is my personal experience, something that happened to me. It might never happen to you, so consider them as well if they have something that makes sense. And for me, the biggest benefit they have right now is the company MGEN that uses them and gives access to everyone that has preconditions, health problems, into having an insurance. So that's why I'm going to jump directly into the MGEN website, because they are the ones that are offering this benefit. Below them is AdvanceCare, which they contract to give you health insurance and give you access to the network. But on top is the protection they give you of being accepted with pre-existing conditions. In this case, I just ran a simulation for myself with my age, and you can see already here some of the details. Again, the cheapest is the one that has less coverage on hospitalization, less coverage on going into appointments. And as you go up, you get a little bit more coverage. For instance, in this one, you have the birth. If you're expecting, it also has some coverage. It has a little bit more on the appointments, and also has a little bit of alternative medicine, acupuncture, and so on. So you can see how it goes, right? It goes up the more protection you need. So again, this is the one I will definitely contact and explore in more detail the plans if you have a pre-existing condition, because you definitely want to be included and you don't want to be discarded because of this condition you have. I hope this video was useful to give you a little bit of an introduction of how to navigate finding that perfect health insurance for you. If you really want to get the best for yourself, you need to understand what your family needs, what you need as a couple, what you need, and just go through each one of them and see which one offers you the best conditions. If this video brought you value, hit that like button. Also, there's a little thanks button. It will be lovely if you want to pay coffee or a lunch. Always appreciated. Thank you so very much for watching. Let us know if you have other questions. Thank you. Until next time.